You shall pay for this!
Sorry, I only have $2 and some change. I thought it said Wizard Magnet for a moment there.
Close enough.
You shall pay for this!
It's actually a Wizard Magnet to be sure, because it's part of the Wizard character class questline.
Whoa, that was dope!
Hello, I'm Nelson Williams, head editor at VoxXMachina.com. It's a gaming site. If you hate Age of Conan, you've probably been there.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to another MMO Anthropology interview. We have Nelson Williams here as Omnicynic, standing in front of a burning bookshelf. And we are right now in DC Universe Online. So say hello, Nelson.
Hello, folks.
Could you tell us all why you chose DC Universe Online?
DC Universe Online. It's an interesting game. I love me some superhero games because they offer a whole lot of variety and a whole lot of character building. I mean, I couldn't look like this in just any game. This character you're seeing, that's exactly what I look like, muscles and all. I even got the cape.
Well, maybe not the muscles, but he does look very similar. It's very difficult in this game to actually get a zoom in, but he's got the glasses and the hair down, but unfortunately in DC Universe, the characters all have about the same build, especially the guys who kind of look like a walking triangle.
Yes, yes, we in the business call it the brick hard cheese look.
Well, can you tell me what MMO games that you've played throughout your career?
Yes. I got started on Star Wars Galaxies, the finest game that they forgot to make fun. It was a great game, full of weird and interesting choices. It wasn't that great of a game, but it was really good if you wanted to live the Star Wars life. I mean, instead of going on quests and having adventures and rocketing through the space lanes, you could play a hairdresser. And in fact, that was a very popular and appreciated class. It was a strange game. I miss it so.
If I recall correctly, that game didn't just have all the normal character classes, but it also had player housing and even a character class that was dedicated to organizing people for player housing, the politician.
Yes, the politician class. Yeah, that was a great game because it was really built around social stuff. Getting with other people, doing things with other people. It's just a sad state of affairs that they forgot to actually build the rest of the game. You know, the part where you go out and do stuff and have fun. You know, anything that didn't involve molesting rancors.
That segues me nicely into my next question, which is how has your online gaming changed your personal gaming experience?
Drastically. You see, online gaming is social, and social games have a huge thing that normal games don't: people. And once you got a bunch of people playing with you, it becomes really hard to go back to ordinary, on your own, dark corner of lonesomeness games, because no matter what you do, nobody will know, nobody will care. You have nobody to share it with. Social games like these MMOs, everybody knows, everybody cares. And depending on your game, that can affect the lives of thousands of players. Like, for example, those wonderful, wonderful Goonswarm people in EVE Online.
Yeah, I've done some videos about what Goonswarm and the Goons have done in EVE Online. But also, in a lot of cases, people do become attached to an identity with their avatar, which I think you're displaying right now by choosing one that looks a lot like you. However, many people spend a lot of time in character creators creating something that doesn't look like them, but instead is a personalized affect of a thematic sort of explanation of what they want to present. I know that you spend a great deal of time in character creators, especially ones that are as extensive as, say, City of Heroes.
Oh yeah, I've heard the concept referred to as you have the UU, which is that meat sack sitting over there in real life with like gravity and stuff, and then you have Awesome You, the character you play in video games. And people do spend a lot of time and effort perfecting their awesome you. It's really interesting to see in action, especially amongst the role-playing set, where their awesome you tends to be some kind of 1,000-year-old vampire who likes the same Xbox games that they do. It's an amazing coincidence, isn't it? But yes, people do really identify with their avatars and really identify with the personas. They get really, really upset when you crash their in-game weddings, let me tell you.
Or in the case of the Serenity Now crash of that would-be funeral.
Yeah, they're for real funerals, I guess. That's a bit of a thing.
Yes. Also, another thing that I know that you're a very big proponent of is that you tend to be what we'd call an altaholic. You have a tendency to make a great deal of characters in every single game. Now, why is that?
Well, I like the creativity of building characters, and I like building the personas, and I like also experimenting with the mechanics. Especially in superhero games, you have a lot of different powers and abilities that you can combo together to create a unique experience. And I don't feel I've gotten my money out of a game unless I've explored every experience the game can give to me. Otherwise, you're just basically hammering yourself against the same wall. And what fun is that?
I know that you've described some of this already, but the next question is, how do you use online games differently from other forms of entertainment?
Online games are a huge thing because they can be social. Like I've said before, social matters. People get very attracted to it, and you can share your characters, your triumphs, your losses with other people. You're also gaming with other people, which means the experience is going to change drastically depending on who you're with. Get together with a good group, and you'll just roll over things, have a good time. Get together with a not-so-good group, maybe you're in for a bit more challenge than you expected. Also, one of the big things that changes about social games and online gaming like this is I've seen a lot of couples playing these games together. Husband and wife to be, and I've seen parents playing these games with their children. That's a big step up from the lonely, dark corner of loneliness games that came before.
That is actually a very good sign, I think. Now, where do you think that online gaming is going to go, since you're a person who happens to write on these sort of things? In fact, you mentioned the hatred of Age of Conan in your intro. Tell our viewers a little bit about that.
About the Age of Conan incident?
Yes.
Alright. Age of Conan still is actually an MMO that was put out to great publicity by Funcom. However, the problem was half the things that they said on the box weren't in the game, and the things that were in the game, didn't work. Apparently they poured all their development money into the tutorial area, which lasted just long enough to eat up your free month. Everything after that was a wasteland devoid of content and devoid of attention. So the game sold really, really well. The tutorial level was actually really, really great. And as soon as people got out of the tutorial, basically they walked around the Hollywood facade and there was nothing but a bunch of boards propping it up and a big sign that said, "Fooled you."
Like one of those old west towns in Arizona which only exist as props for movies?
Exactly. Except this prop had voice acting and great graphics and good characters, and then you walk around the other side and desert. Desert forever. Anyhow, I wrote up a little piece on this about why Age of Conan failed. A combination of lack of content, the fooled you effect, as well as a lot of the things it promised on the box not being in the game. And, well, this kind of ignited a flame war across the entire internet, which got my little hobby site, Machina, on Slashdot and Kotaku both on the same day. We were running the site on a 486 in a closet at the time, and, well, that machine is no longer with us. So that's the Age of Conan incident.
Yeah, and so from that, I think we've seen that while MMOs are a highly social, interactive mechanism and a thing that gamers flock to for the social mechanics, that they still won't fly without actually having a game and content underneath.
Exactly. Gaming, I think, is composed of as many games as you can cram into the actual game. That's how you make a good game. The social stuff is one game. Getting people together, hooking up with people, making friends, showing off your achievements. There's also the game of fighting the bad guys, games of exploration. As we've touched upon earlier, character creation itself is a game. And it can just be a stack of games upon games upon games. Games that can fit in a whole bunch of these mini games, like for example World of Warcraft, will do very well. Games which skimp on them, for example Star Wars Galaxies and Age of Conan, history will not favor them.
Well, let's wrap this up with a final wide open question. Where do you see MMO gaming in the future, especially the sort that you would like to get into?
MMO gaming in the future, I think, is going to expand. It's a very powerful genre because, again, the social effects, and you can cram basically any game you can put in a single-player game into an MMO. So anything gaming can do, MMOs can do, and do better. Because of this, it's going to expand, it's going to explode, and as MMOs like Second Life have shown us, people can make a business of doing their work in the MMO. The real world can enter the MMO, and as our ability to work with inside our games expands, we're basically going to crawl up into our computers. I foresee the future of MMOs and the future of gaming itself as something like the Matrix, except the AIs will be friendlier and everybody will be the woman in the red dress.
Remember, take the red pill.
Or the blue. I never can get those right.
I know. Well, it doesn't matter. Matrix is so 2000s.
Right. Nobody in the Matrix is colorblind, apparently.
And that's as much as we've got for today. Thank you, Nelson Williams, for coming on MMO Anthropology.
No problem.
And to the rest of you, good night and good dreams.
Later.
Do you play online games? Do you have Skype? Then we'd love to interview you on Massive Online Anthropology. Join the fascinating thousands who've spoken about their online gaming experience and be the envy of all your friends. Or at least get the MMO Anthropology Geek Merit Badge. Sorry, no t-shirt. See you then!